Welcome everybody to the DJ Force X podcast, and on this episode I chat to September from the multimedia project September Mourning. You'll find out why they're called that, or why I announced them as a multimedia project in the interview. It's very interesting. It's a very good concept. Anyway, thank you everyone who's been downloading and listening to the podcast. The past 4 episodes have been absolutely amazing when it comes to downloads. I've been totally surprised. So thank you for everyone supporting it. Thank you to Richie Nix, Blue Starly, Black Lodge, Cell Dweller. Just amazing numbers coming through, and people checking out my earlier ones as well, which is absolutely awesome. I just want to say thank you to everybody again. It's fantastic. But yeah, just pass it on, share it, rate it, review it. Check out my radio show. It goes out on Tuesday nights on Total Rock at 11 p.m. UK time, and that's 6 p.m. East Coast here in the States, and 3 p.m. Pacific Coast. Available on TotalRock.com, available on Android and iOS on the TuneIn radio app, Google Play, etc. The station's streamable via that. And also on Saturday nights here in the US at 11 p.m. East Coast and 8 p.m. Pacific on the mix.fm. That's THEMIXX.FM. Check out their chat channel. And I'm a music show on that. It goes out at 11 o'clock. And it's the same show that goes out on Total Rock. But for the people here in the US who aren't able to listen to it during the week, check it out then. Also, if you miss it, it goes up onto Mixcloud. Mixcloud.com/DJ Force X. Go check out on there. and getting a lot of love on there at the moment. A lot of people listening, which is fantastic. It's just, it's always good to get, the feedback from people listening. Again, if you can leave reviews, comments, share it on your social media. You can follow me at DJ Force X on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook with /DJ Force X. I made it as simple as possible. Also got DJForceX.com. An update is coming to that with some new artwork and stuff, which Kikoa, or Stu Phillips, as he's also known, has provided for me. I'm trying to get him on the show. We're just trying to sort out times and stuff at the moment. But I've got a couple more shows coming up after this one as well. Got some interviews lined up. But anyway, I'm rambling, and I guess you guys want to get on and have a listen to what September has to say. I strongly suggest going to check out their EP. It's called Volume 1. You can get it on iTunes and stream it via the various stream sites. There's physical copies on their website as well, if you still want that physical product, which I would recommend for this band. Also, pick up their comic book, which I haven't read yet. But by all accounts, it's pretty good. It's called A Murder of Reapers. It's out now on Top Cow Comics, and the EP is available via T-Boy Records as well, just to let you know. But yeah, go check them out, go stream it, go buy it, support the bands. It's why I do this now. It's why I've always done this. Back in the day when I used to have my own fanzine and stuff, webzine, as it turned out to be back in the late 90s. So it was one of the original lot. Anyway, enough of my past. But yeah, no, check it out. Support these bands. This band are worth it. They've got this whole concept going on that's absolutely amazing. Check them out live if you can. They're playing near you. They just come off tour. They're going out again early next year with dates to be announced. But yeah, anyway, you'll find out all this in the interview and more. So enjoy. This is September from September Mourning. I'd like to welcome to this week's show. I have September from the band September Mourning. Welcome, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. First off, can you tell me a bit more about your band? Like where you're from, how you got started, things like that?
Well, the project was founded in New York City. I like to refer to it as like a project because it's not really just a band. It's based on a storyline, and there's that aspect of it, which is very, predominant in the whole sort of thing. And it started in New York City. And I met Mark Silvestri online, and he's a big comic book creator, one of the big six in comic books, and he's kind of a legend. And he ended up being my partner in this whole equation, and I moved out to LA to pursue it further.
Cool. I'm surprised I hadn't come across you guys before, just due to the sound that you guys have, because it's something that I dig, like that kind of like cross rock and electronic and all the other aspects into the music side of things. But yeah, it's really cool. And the other thing I found fascinating was that the way you refer to it as a project, or I've seen the reference of like transmedia, multimedia, like outfit. So you produce, it's not just the music. You've got obviously the videos, the story, the whole theatrical side of things, and also as you mentioned then, the graphic novel that goes along with it. How does that, like, does it all translate into the project? As in, does the live show continue the story on from
yes.
say the graphic novels and the music and things like
yes.
that? Does it all entwine? And
yes.
Okay,
that's the whole purpose of it being a transmedia project, is that it all intertwines, it all kind of tells a story. It's all part of one whole. So so we're trying to create like a world for our audience to be a part of, and not just, be a presentation, but actually create this world that you can find yourself a part of. If you love music but don't love the comic books, you can just listen to the music. But if you do like the story and all this sort of stuff, you have like other options of being more immersed in it.
With the whole activities, are you going to be producing, say, like live action films as opposed to just music videws with that to go on top, or is it
that's what we would love to do. So as long as we can find money to do that, it all comes down to like the money situation of everything. So, but as there's a lot that you can do on a budget anyway. So nowadays that is very creative. So, we're going to be making an announcement with soon regarding, everything going forward with us. And that'll be very exciting. So you should be on the lookout for that. And we'll be announcing more and more different sort of media projects that'll go along with everything. Yeah,
no, that's cool, because I've seen your name mentioned across various different media outlets, not just the music, like music forums or anything like that. It's like things like the Nerdist and stuff as well. That's where I first like clocked your name from.
Oh, cool! That's very cool.
Just like you releasing a graphic novel with your music, and that's obviously and you attend the Comic Cons from what I see and things like that. So
since it was based out of that, that was kind of like a building block for us, were the Comic Cons, and like getting our name out there through that, and then making and establishing the story with that group of that crowd, and then we pushed it towards the graphic novel, made that happen. And Nerdist has been super awesome and supportive of everything that we've done, and they're just really cool over there, and so they're helping us get the word out.
No, that's really cool. Because I've noticed as well, like there's a couple of other artists I've seen release, say, graphic novels with their music or to coincide with certain albums and things, and it just seems like a really good idea to give that extra layer of storyline to your music, because not every band gets involved in, soundtracks and things like that to tell a story. Yeah. And you can make a concept album, but to have literature, to go with it, and things like that is absolutely, and like to get that whole thing, like I'm trying to get it around my head of how that, because I've got a musical background, but we never had that kind of, it was music and then maybe, music videos to tell a story.
Yeah.
To have this whole concept of
it's also
everything.
like we play the characters on stage too, so it's kind of like this weird, like messed up musical theater project. It's like, it's strange, but it works. It's not cheesy. It works to what it is, and I think that people are really starting to accept it and get it, and they love it. So that's really cool to see.
Cool.
The translation of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw you recently on tour with Mushroomhead.
We did Mushroomhead, Marilyn Manson, and then we did some shows on our own. We did a Halloween show with Trapped in Spokane, and that was our last show.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we hadn't either, and we were very surprised to play with them. But apparently, they had a single or something out that was spinning on the radio up there. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, they brought them in to do it. It was a radio show with a radio station up there, so that was very exciting. The station is really supportive of us, so we went up there and killed it for them. So excellent. They really liked it. Yeah.
Excellent. Because the tour, the Mushroomhead tour, came through my neck of the woods as well. Unfortunately, I missed it.
Yeah.
I live out here in Tampa, so it sort of.
Oh, right. Well, we'll be back down to Florida in January probably, or February. So you'll catch us again.
All right, cool. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty eagle-eyed, but that particular show, I knew I was going to be busy, so it was unfortunate.
No big deal.
Yeah, I enjoy Mushroomhead. I saw.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
they're fun.
I saw him in the UK a couple of times, and
they're a fun group of people too. So
cool. So, how were those tours like generally? Because you weren't you were in the Mushroomhead. You were was it third on the bill? Is that right?
Well, I mean, sometimes we were second because the support band that was supposed to come on board was late coming on board through the tour because they got stuck in Europe. So, the tour was a little hectic. They lost their singer second show in.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that went on in that camp during that tour that made it a little bit rocky. But we were only out for 2 weeks with them, so but they're good dudes, they got through it. So and then we went out with Manson after that, and then of course we went with Trapped.
Yeah.
So
how does your being a support band and taking a stage show with you, how did that work out compared to obviously a headline show? You kind of have rule of the roost, if you will. But being a support for, say, Marilyn Manson, I would have thought the restrictions may be there. Or maybe not.
It was really funny. Mushroomhead had more restrictions on us than Marilyn Manson. Mushroomhead was you can't use this, you can't use that, you're using too much stuff, blah, 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 blah. So we made sure that we slimmed it down our stage show so that it wasn't, we didn't really use anything on stage for them. Which was fine because we don't really rely on props and things like that too much because we have the costuming and I am the character and I tell these stories on stage. So you don't really need it if you do it. If you do what you do well, you don't need that stuff. Even as a theatrical band, you can still be very theatrical without the physical theatricality. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Theatricality to me isn't, they're theatrical because they're dressed up and wearing makeup. Theatricality is because of the story that you're telling and the way that you're performing.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people miss that. There's a lot of bands that dress up and, they're so no, they're not. They're just dressed up doing things that have no purpose,
Yeah.
And I think that if you have a purpose to what you do and you're telling a story and you're doing this and you have this comic book and there's a lot that goes into it, then it becomes, okay, this is like a theater piece, even if you don't have all of the crazy stuff that we want to have on stage at the moment. And then Manson let us have a lot more, but we decided to keep it pretty minimal on most shows with him just because we wanted to respect him, and get off stage quickly and things like that. Being an opening band, it's very important that you respect your headliner. So, for Trapped, we were able to use everything. So that was actually a lot of fun because we got to use our lights and our smoke and fog and all this sort of stuff. So, and we have these giant thorns that we use on stage and things like that. So that was quite fun. But yeah, I mean, it was still, a theatrical art piece.
Cool. Yeah. No, it sounds really good. I look forward to obviously if you come through Tampa, I'll make sure I get to the show.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing it because I've seen the music videos. Obviously, I checked you guys out a bit more online to get a little bit of the history, and just to see that the whole encompassing the whole concept of everything falling into the whole activity of the band is quite phenomenal, really. Because like I say, I remember being in a band and having to think about a lot of other things would have kind of driven me slightly, crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
So,
But I'm lucky to have a great group of people that I can rely on to like handle some of the things that I need not to handle, and that way I have freedom to do other things.
yeah.
So it's all about having the right people around you to make it really work. And I think that over the past year, like I've had the right family of people around me that have really been able to make this fly.
Cool.
So I'm feel really privileged for that.
Cool. So the other musicians you have all contribute to the story. Is that what you're saying?
No, they
Or
don't
is it...
contribute to the story, but they do all of the blue collar stuff that, like, I like to call it blue collar, like work stuff.
Yeah,
That
the boring stuff.
the boring stuff that you have to do in a band that takes up a lot of time. And you know this,
Yes.
being like you were a musician, that there's a lot of crap that you have to do in a band that isn't very, so everybody's like, oh, you're a rock star. It's so like, you're so like this and that and the other thing. And you're like, no, actually, we're loading gear. We're like changing guitar strings. We're like, we have to make sure that this is handed in on time. Like we have to write, we have to do, I mean, there's like all this other stuff that, and especially with social media, we have to post, we have to do this, it's like you have to keep up on so many different fronts.
Mm-hmm.
And my guitarist Riven is super organized and like extremely driven about things, and it's really refreshing to have him in the band because like he allows me to be like the creative, like crazy person that I like to be, and like just go off and like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna go have this meeting with this person so I can do this, and I'm gonna, like, instead of having to, no, I can't do that because I have to sit at home and do social media for 9 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
like so we're really lucky to have like the people we have in the band to help us so that I can actually go out and do the things that I need to do to keep this more of an art project.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. It's good to have people around you that can do that. So
yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about the latest release, Volume 1. It's an EP. It has, is it 6 tracks?
Yes,
6-track
it
EP.
is. I believe so.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I've listened to it quite a few times since I got it, and it's a really good EP. I really like the tracks "Angels of Dust,"
"Angels to Dust,"
"Angels to Dust." Sorry, "Angels to Dust."
Mm-hmm.
"Before the Fall," "Children of Fate," and your cover of "Stand by Me."
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Very very good take on the song.
Thank you.
That one, and it totally took me by surprise because I was just listening. Suddenly, I recognized it just from the chorus.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize it otherwise, but no, it's really cool.
But see, to me, that's what a cover should be. You shouldn't really recognize it until like it hits like the chorus, and you go, "Oh my God, that's that song." Okay, cool. I hate when people do covers where it sounds just like the original. I was like, "That's not covers. That's being karaoke. Like that's totally a different sort of thing." So to me, like we wanted to do something where we took the song and actually like rearranged it, stripped it down to its bare necessity of what it needs to have, and then like rebuild it from scratch. And that's what we did with that song.
Cool. So with Volume 1, obviously it gives the pretense of there being more after it. What's the plan for the full length album, if you have one in the works?
Yeah, we are starting that this week actually. So so that's going to be done hopefully by January, end of January or so. Probably release it, I don't know, early next year sometime, depending on, the lead up to it and everything we need to do. But yeah, we're working on it right now.
Cool. So is there going to be another EP release before that? Or is this the teaser for the album then?
That's the teaser for the album. Okay. So,
and are all the tracks on there going to be on the album, or is it just a select few? Okay.
No. We're going to put them all on there. I mean, I love that EP. I think it's a really solid, appetizer for the main course of the album. So, I think it's something that we should definitely go with, and people seem to like the EP a lot. So
cool. How long has it been out?
Just a couple months.
Couple of months? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've only just got it, so it's
no, it's only been out a couple months.
No, that's cool. The graphic novel, A Murder of Reapers. Can you tell me more about that? Because I've not read this yet. So.
Oh, you need to read it. It's a great comic book. I mean, if I do say so myself. No, I mean, it's the story. It's the story of September, and it's not an origin story per se. It's more of like kind of like going forward into the world that she's already been transformed, and like this is kind of like what she does. And she meets this girl Claire, who's a blind girl in the real world, in the human world, but she can see reapers and she can see souls being taken. So that's the only thing she can see is like death, basically. But in the real world she can see nothing else. So it's a really interesting twist on like her being blind, and so she can actually see September, that's her whole thing. And so she's told to go find her, and because there's something they're supposed to do. There's a key they're supposed to find. So like it's this whole like kind of thing, but there's also like a big over B section of a storyline that kind of like goes through the whole like first four comic books, that is about fate and the Dark Man, and how they're just kind of sick of the world being how it is today and all the hate and stuff like that, and they just want to destroy it and start anew. So they decide to take all of the good souls out of the world and leave all of the bad souls, so that people will just basically self-destruct. Okay. So that's their whole game plan. So it's September fighting against that. She's fighting for humanity. She's fighting to save the good souls, and then Fate and Darkman find out about this, and they of course send somebody after her to stop her. Mm-hmm. And there's this big war that ensues between all of them. So
cool. No, that sounds really good. I'm gonna have to try and pick that up. Is that available through like comic book stores, or is it just online?
At the moment it's available through our web store, like septembermourning.com.
Okay.
And we'll be doing a couple more issues and then package it as a graphic novel, and then that will be available in all stores.
Cool. How many issues are available now?
Just the one, then the second one will be coming out with the full length.
Okay, cool. So, and your music's available through the usual outlets. So you got like iTunes.
We have iTunes and everything like that, Spotify and all that sort of stuff. It's also available on our web store if you want a physical copy.
Cool. So, with all that, what are your plans going forward? Is there anything you can tell us, or is it
like I said, we have the CD, the full length coming out. We have a tour coming up in January, February. So all of that's coming up, and then of course the second issue of the comic book will be coming out. So there's all that to look forward to. Cool.
So is there anything special the fans can expect from the shows coming up in January, February, or is that all kind of under wraps?
Yeah, it's kind of under wraps.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So just another question. What are your hobbies away from music?
I don't have time for hobbies away from music. I mean, when I want to just like relax and chill out, like movies are probably the best things. I mean, I always get more creative when I go see a really good movie, and so usually just movies and hanging out with friends and things like that. That's pretty much all I have time for. I don't really have time to do a lot of things, but I mean, I love to draw and paint and things like that, but I haven't had time to do a lot of that. So, but yeah.
Okay, cool. And last question, where can people reach you?
Septembermourning.com is our website, MOURNING, and then on that you can get all of our other sites, all of our links to like other sites like our Facebook, Twitter, like all that sort of stuff. All of our social media handles are on that site.
Okay, cool. Well, September, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, and good luck with the EP, and I look forward to the album and perhaps seeing you on tour next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
So there we have it. We've come to the end of another show. I hope you enjoyed this one. She was a lovely guest, and I wish them all the best. And I hope to check them out when they come over on tour. I missed them last time with Mushroomhead, but I'm going to keep an eye out for them this time. And when they hit Tampa or around the circle area, I'll go see them. Thank you for listening again. Go support the band. Go check them out. Go check out my previous shows if you haven't already. I've got like Cell Dweller, Blue Starley, Andrew WK, Rich Ward, so many others. I've interviewed bands across the world. Literally. UK, Europe, here in the States. Just go check it out, support it. Like it, review it, rate it, share it. Do all the stuff that social media is made for. Sharing ideas, sharing, stuff you enjoy. Spread the love, if you will. But yeah, if not, make your own podcast. Do that. That would be awesome. The more people providing content, the more people expressing themselves, everything is what we need right now. And just need just the creative, just to get that, or if not, just support it. If you can't do it, support it. Like music, if you can't play it, support it. If you don't want to play it anymore, support new stuff you listen to. Or even share the old stuff. I do that all the time. Old music all the time, but I love new music. So yeah, that's my message. Spread the love, not just this podcast, spread everything. It's what we need, is love in this world. So, until next time, this is DJ Force X, out.